American girl, Jenny Taft.
Well, Gus, we hear it all the time. This game is personal. What does that mean? 50 Wolverines and 50 Spartans are from the state of Michigan. It's not just personal, it's in their blood, and tensions have been high all day. About 2 hours ago, before this game, when Michigan State players took the field for their pregame walk, a few Wolverines were already out there, including Devin Bush Jr. And trust me, guys, it did not end well with him cleaning the Spartans logo at the 50. Everyone inside this place heard about it. They were talking about it, and they were not happy about it. Michigan's Ben Bredesen put it this way: we hate each other. Today is going to be a street fight.
We love street fights here in the state of Michigan. No problem at all. Michigan won the toss. They'll receive. The weather should be interesting. We're expecting rain, possibly lightning, possibly snow, and 25 to 30 mile per hour winds to hit in about 2 hours. Gus Johnson, Joel Klatt, Jenny Taft. Spartans will send it away. Take a look at the series. No, Michigan State on the bottom. They've won 4 of the last 5. They're playing for the Paul Bunyan Trophy. Cole Haan will send it away. Thomas and Brad Hawkins are the deep men. Spartans, Wolverines, here we go. And Michigan will down it in the end zone. And that brings out Shea Patterson, the Ole Miss transfer.
You know what's so interesting about these games, if we talk about the emotion, and everybody's emotions are high, it's imperative for a quarterback to make sure that you walk out onto that field and have some sense of calm in front of your unit. He's 10-3 touchdowns to interceptions this season. That's been a huge key for Michigan. This guy can convert with his feet. Watch out, last week, an 81-yard run that set them up for a score against Wisconsin.
First down and 10 to the 25, Karan Higdon. A very talented running back. He ran for 105 yards and a touchdown against the Badgers last week. His 5th straight 100-yard game. Patterson rolls out of the pocket, throws on the move. That ball is incomplete. Intended for Grant Perry. And winning on first down is crucial for the Wolverines.
Crucial, and I'm not surprised that they went to a spread set, lots of wide receivers, and tried to throw the ball because they're facing the #1 rush defense in all of college football. These guys up front can get it done, and they are zeroed in on that running game for the Wolverines today.
Second down and 10 to the 25. And they'll run. Patterson with the lane. Patterson dives forward. Chopped down as David Dowell got him. But Shea Patterson, as you mentioned, Joel, he's very fleet of foot.
Yeah, and you wouldn't say he's necessarily a guy that's going to get out there and win the game for you with his feet. However, it was his ability to run last week that opened up the playbook and allowed them to start moving the ball, in particular in the run game against Wisconsin. Here now in a 3rd and 4, they're having some trouble getting lined up in their formation.
Opening series for the Wolverines. On 3rd and 4 at the 31, empty backfield for Patterson. Michigan State showing blitz. They back out of it. Patterson delivers it. It's complete over the middle. Grant Perry found a soft spot and gained 7 on 3rd and 4. First down, Wolverine.
And a terrific throw. This is what I'm talking about remaining calm on that 3rd down. Patterson calmly finds his easiest wide receiver, just a little curl route for a first down, and he puts it right on his frame. Accurate throw allows for the conversion there on a 3rd and short.
Chris Evans now checks in the game at running back. He returned last week after missing 3 games to injury. First down to the 38-yard line. Patterson gives it to Evans. Evans cuts it back up and crosses the 40. Gets up to around the 43 before being stopped by Naquan Jones.
Gus, you've already mentioned the importance of first down, and Michigan is so much better this year on first down than they were a year ago. They're averaging 2.5 yards more on first down this year than they were a year ago. They're all the way up at about 7.7 yards per play on first down. That's 9th in college football.
2nd and 6 at the 42. Evans remains in the game as the single setback. And they run the reverse. Around the corner, Ronnie Bell, and Bell gets close to the first down marker. Ronnie Bell stopped by Andrew Dowell, but a flag on the play.
Yeah, and it was a late one, Gus. Certainly after the play, possibly some chippiness over there.
You talk about Michigan being better on first downs this season. What did they do to change things around?
Well, their offensive line is much better this year than they were a year ago. And then Shea Patterson, his ability to run, his efficiency in the passing game, all of that helps.
After the play, there was 2 fouls on each team. Unsportsmanlike conduct, number 9 of Michigan, number 24 of Michigan State. That is their first of the game. They offset, 3rd down.
All right, on the left side of your screen, that's Donovan Peoples-Jones working against Trey Person, who is actually a 3rd-string corner that's having to get a start today for Michigan State because Josh Butler is banged up. So Person and Donovan Peoples-Jones got to keep your emotions in check. Remember now, that's 1 unsportsmanlike for each of those guys. If they get another, they'll end up being ejected from this game.
3rd down and 3 at the 45.
Got to hurry.
And the Wolverines will call a timeout. 12:23 to play, first quarter from East Lansing. Back after this. It's never over. It's just getting started. Spartans will. 3rd down and 3 at the 45. And Michigan will not get it because that Spartans defense was ready. Mike Ponishuk, first man to him. And the Wolverines will have to punt it away.
I'm surprised that Patterson didn't keep this ball. Watch this. He's got to read. All he's got to do, he's got a blocker. He can head around the edge, probably get the conversion. In particular with that tight end coming around the edge, he gives it into the middle of that defense. That's the #1 rush defense in college football. Very conservative there on 3rd down.
So Will Hart comes in to punt it away. He's standing at his own 31, second nationally with an average of 51.1 yards per kick. Delivers this one, and this one will go into the end zone for a touchback. A 54-yard punt, and we'll stay right here. So Brian Lewerke, the junior from Phoenix, Arizona, who was brilliant on the final drive last week against Penn State on the road.
Yeah, and really all day he was very good. 259 yards against that defense, 2 touchdowns, only 1 interception, and he had to be great. This guy is going to have a little help today, though. They're getting their starting running back into the lineup. L.J. Scott, terrific runner, has led them 3 straight season rushing. He's back in the lineup after suffering an ankle injury all the way back in the Arizona State game, so we'll see how effective he can be.
So he missed 4 straight games, 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. And he'll run it on 1st down, gets to the line of scrimmage and gains about a half yard. Chase Winovich defensively for the Wolverines.
I tell you what, man, this defense, it's like you want to say, like, hey, here's the players to watch. All of them. I mean, they got so many stars on this defense. Great players. Chase Winovich is one of them. Devin Bush, the middle linebacker, is playing as well as any middle linebacker in the country. Rashawn Gary, one of the better Wolverines, not here today. He is injured. He did not make the trip and will not be on the field for Michigan. He also didn't play last week, so didn't affect them too much as they were handling Wisconsin at home.
Gary with a shoulder injury. 2nd and 9 at the 21. Lewerke will pass for the first time. Drops it off. L.J. Scott, 1st down, Spartans. Dangerous, dangerous man. L.J. Scott 2 years ago here against Michigan. 22 carries, 139 yards, and a touchdown.
And bad news for Michigan right now is Devin Bush, that great middle linebacker I was telling you about, is down on the sidelines. He was in coverage against L.J. Scott over there, and very hard to see what actually happened. He got kind of spun to the ground in an awkward fashion as he was trying to make the tackle. L.J. Scott runs 225 pounds. Here's Bush, and he's trying to get in there. Watch as he kind of lands awkwardly on his arms. And
so while Bush is tended to, we'll step away. Michigan State with the football.
115th in college football running the football. They're 116th in rushing average at under 4 yards per carry. So L.J. Scott quite a task to try to improve that run game against Michigan today.
Scott lines up as a receiver at the bottom of your screen. 2nd and 7 at the 39. Lewerke under. No! What a catch! Unbelievable! Connor Hayward. Stick him.
And he's a running back. This guy's not even a wide receiver. Are you kidding me? He doesn't even need the OBJ gloves. Wow. There's the ump cam. I wonder if it touched the ground when it was still not controlled yet. Boy, that's a tough one. We had that great look from the ump cam, but I would snap it as quickly as they can to try to avoid a review.
1st and 10 at the 47. Spartans get it off. Lewerke with time. And incomplete. Felton Davis, the intended receiver, and he got decked. Josh Metellus delivering the wood.
And Metellus, while it looks severe, I mean, an incredible job of keeping his head down to the side, not leading with the crown, and not contacting Felton Davis in the head or neck area. That's a textbook hit. That is exactly what they're trying to get these players to do. Head to the side, lead with the shoulder, below the head or neck area on a defenseless player, and Metellus comes in hot. Wow, he's playing great football right now for Michigan.
2nd and 10 at the 47. Wildcat formation. Ladarius Jefferson takes the snap, runs a football, and Jefferson crosses the line of scrimmage and gets to midfield.
Ladarius Jefferson, a true freshman who had some big runs last week at the running back position. He was a quarterback in high school and actually led his high school team to a state championship here in Michigan, was the Gatorade Player of the Year in this state. Comes in, switch position to running back, but they can get that Wildcat out of him. Certainly a quality player.
Brings up 3rd down and 7 at midfield for Michigan State. Opening series for the Spartans. Lewerke looking. Lewerke scrambling, and he's sacked. Terrific job by Joshua Uche.
Tell you what, Uche is just motor time. Watch as he's trying to beat Cole Chewins, the left tackle, and he just keeps going, keeps going. Now he's going to continue on that route. Lewerke didn't have anywhere to go. This is the #1 pass defense in the country. Quarterback looks to his left, nowhere to go. Looks to his right, nowhere to go. Tight man coverage. That's a staple of this Don Brown defense, the coordinator for Michigan.
Tyler Hunt will punt it away from the 26. Donovan Peoples-Jones, the deep man, fields it at the 15. Peoples-Jones looking for a crease. And he stood up and taken down at the 15-yard line. A 45-yard punt and a 1-yard return. Dominique Long with the tackle on special teams. So Shea Patterson, the Wolverines, will start from the 15 right after this. Sponsored by SoFi, a personal finance company to fit your goals. And that's right, they're playing for the Paul Bunyan Trophy today, as they have since 1953. 1st and 10 at the 16-yard line for the Wolverines. Patterson drops it off in the flats. Chris Evans with the catch. Nice juke. And he'll gain 8, maybe 9 yards on the play. And that Paul Bunyan Trophy, it's 4 foot. A 4-footer wooden statue was donated by the governor, G. Menon Williams, to mark Michigan State's acceptance into the Big Ten back in 1953. Second down and 1 at the 25. Mason, Chris Evans line up in a tight eye formation. McCune in motion. They hand it off to the up back, Ben Mason, and he picks up the 1st down. Mason's 6'3", 254 pounds.
A lot of fans have asked me, well, what's the difference with Michigan this year? Well, it's not just Shea Patterson. Check out their improvement in some of these critical categories. 1st down yards per play. Last year 106, this year 9th. 3rd down conversions. Last year 116th, this year 13th. Turnovers, they're much better. Sacks allowed, much better. They have improved drastically on the offensive line as a whole, and a running game as a whole, and then obviously at the quarterback position.
Karan Higdon checks back in. 1st and 10 at the 27. Play fake. Patterson rolls out, drops it off. This ball caught by his tight end, Sean McCune. And McCune picks up positive yards. And when you look at Jim Harbaugh teams, they love the tight ends.
Oh, love the tight ends. They'll play 2-3 tight ends. They love the play action pass. And what's so interesting, we've had 4 first down snaps of the football for Michigan. And to maintain that success on first down, they've thrown it 3 times. Remember, this is the #1 rush defense in college football. And right now, Jim Harbaugh is relying, on Shea Patterson to get the job done on first down through the air, using play action pass, using some of those tight ends.
Michigan looking confused on offense right now, and they'll have to burn another timeout.
Michigan.
So the Wolverines have used 2 timeouts in the first quarter. 6:11 to play. Back to East Lansing after this.
I mean, this is the second best era in Michigan State history, really. I mean, outside of that Duffy Daugherty era, 8 wins against Michigan. I think they've done it on the back of this game. This is what Mark D'Antonio has done, is build this program on the back of beating Michigan.
Second down and 2 at the 35. Here's the handoff. First down, Wolverines. Higdon with a powerful run. Higdon, senior from Sarasota, Florida. Kenny Willikis with the tackle for the Spartans.
Yeah, and this run game with Karan Higdon is going to run into that rush defense, and namely Joe Bocci. You know, this guy, he's a heck of a player. This guy, he's the leader of the defense, and he has to be. When you run this structure of defense, your middle linebacker has got to be not only a great communicator, but a great leader. They say it like this: the other teammates, they got to understand his voice like a kid knows his parents' voice.
First and 10 at the 41. And Patterson getting out of the pocket and goes down. Tracked down by Khari Willis after a 4-yard gain.
Yeah, and Willis had such a great game last week against Penn State. In fact, he was named the Big Ten Defensive Player of the Week after that performance. He had 9 tackles, couple for loss, was terrific against Penn State in that win. But again, Michigan continues to gain 4 or more yards on first down.
Leave the field.
So they're going to take both teams off the field and suspend play because of lightning. As we mentioned,
we knew this was coming, you know, and it was kind of a matter of time. We were hoping that the lightning would not come with the storm, but they're going to have to take both teams off the field and head in, as there has been a lightning strike near the stadium.
Rain, lightning, and possibly snow in the forecast, with 25 to 30 mile per hour winds expected. So we've got a weather delay here in East Lansing.
Please evacuate immediately.
The only
shelter in Spartan Stadium. You cannot stay in the concourse. Upon exiting the stadium, you will be directed to the nearest shelter location.
Man, that's a frustrating walk for these players. All of us watching at home. The hype, great start to this game. Both teams making a few plays, but fans will make their way out as well.
Fans exiting the stadium, so we'll step away. Weather delay, Michigan, Michigan State. All right, we're ready to resume play after a 1 hour and 15-minute weather delay. Michigan will be faced with a 2nd and 6 at the 45-yard line.
Well, here we go. Hey, listen, you got to deal with the elements, and I'm not talking about the elements of the weather per se right now. I'm talking about the elements of you got to go in, rest, control your energy as a player, but then quickly ramp that back up and try to play full speed right away. I think it's always more difficult, Gus, for the offense rather than the defense, because the defense can just play on emotion, go run around fast, whereas as an offense, you got to not only get yourself loose, but then you got to be detailed. And so right now the advantage, at least in this series for me, is with Michigan State. We'll see what Michigan comes out with here, as their quarterback Shea Patterson has been good so far today, in particular throwing the football on first down and allowing them some shorter conversion opportunities. But here we go.
The second series of the game for Michigan. No score. Patterson and the Wolverines back on the field. 2nd and 6 at the 45. Karan Higdon is the tailback. And Higdon stood up and tackled for a loss at the 40. Raekwon Williams, the junior from Chicago, with the tackle.
He's going to be right here at the defensive tackle position. Watch as he's just going to swim around, then he comes right up the field, and he's in the face of Higdon before Higdon can get going. A total missed assignment up front for the offensive line.
A loss of 2, 3rd down and 8 at the 43. Patterson with time all day. And that one broken up, or is it? And they're going to give it a catch to Nico Collins.
Wow, what an adjustment Collins makes. Collins is on his route. Watch as he kind of slips right there. Remember, we had all the rain, and then all of a sudden he goes all the way back for the ball, wrestles it away from David Dowell, the safety, and a conversion for the Wolverines.
Nico Collins, the 3rd leading receiver on this team. That was his 19th catch. Pep Hamilton says he's a big guy that can really sink his hips and change directions. Patterson, deep drop, steps up, delivers, caught on the sideline. Nick Eubanks, the tight end. That's a gain of 26.
What a throw from Patterson. I thought he was going to go deep for Donovan Peoples-Jones, who I thought was open, but watch this throw. The ball placement up on top of the defender, right over the head of Khari Willis. He takes his tight end Eubanks up the ladder. Eubanks goes up and gets it. What a play there from Shea Patterson.
1st down and 10 at the 22 for Michigan. Higdon cuts it inside with running room. And Karan Higdon will gain 6 yards on the play.
And that's interesting here because they haven't had much success running the football, Gus, what I would say inside of the tackles. That play was more of what I would call an outside stretch zone play. It's designed to get outside of the tackle on that left side, and that's where they found a hole. Very similar to last week against Wisconsin. And John Runyon, the left tackle, had a great game last weekend, number 75. They had a big block on that last play.
2nd down and 4 at the 16. Patterson to Higdon again, turns the corner, squares his shoulders, dives, and he's close to the 1st down. Bocci grabbed his ankle and brought him to the turf.
This has been so critical for Michigan, is to get themselves into this scenario where it's 3rd and short. When you're talking about 3rd and less than 6 yards to convert, they're 12th best in college football, converting at about a 65% clip. This is where they live, right here. This is the quality area for Michigan.
3rd down 1 at the Michigan State 13 for the Wolverines. Higdon, 1st down. Michigan is converting 49% of its 3rd downs this season, 3rd best in the Big Ten behind Ohio State and Iowa.
Yeah, overall, and 13th best in college football. And right there wasn't much room, but Higdon found a little crease and was able to get down behind his pads and get the yard necessary to move the chains.
12th play of the drive that started at the Michigan 16. 1st down and 10 at the Spartan 11. Higdon again running the football. And when Bo Schembechler coached the Wolverines, the legendary coach who coached Jim Harbaugh and so many great players, the key for his team was to run it, and then run it some more.
And that's really Jim Harbaugh's MO. They came out early in this ball game. They wanted to throw it on 1st down, but on this series, they clearly went into that locker room, found an adjustment over that left side of the offensive line, that wide zone play. They've run it now 3-4 times on this series.
2nd and 7 at the 8. Patterson. This time, it's Evans. He'll lean forward, gain a couple.
Well, this is where
Willikis with the tackle. And that may take us to the end of the first quarter.
And with the way that they play, it's likely they won't get this snap off. If they do, remember down here near the goal line, left hash, you got a right-handed quarterback on a third down. Expect some sort of rollout to the right here with Shea Patterson. Doesn't look like they'll get this play off.
On 3rd and 6. And that'll take us to the end of the period. No score after 1, but Michigan knocking on the Michigan State door. Back to East Lansing right after this. Football is sponsored by AT&T Business. East Lansing, Michigan, Spartan Stadium. Gus Johnson, Joel Klatt, Jenny Taft, and Mike Pereira with us. 3rd down and 5 at the 6-yard line for the Wolverines. They're 3 of 4 on 3rd down conversions so far. Empty backfield for Patterson. Remember, he can run. Patterson to throw it. Looking. End zone. Touchdown, Wolverines. Nico Collins. And that's the first passing touchdown for Michigan against Michigan State since 2011.
Ooh, what a series there. It began with the run game coming out of the locker room. Get that long delay, come out of the locker room, allow the offensive linemen to establish some rhythm. They were able to do that, but then it's Patterson with the strike at the back of the end zone. Heck of a series there for Michigan.
Quinn Nordine comes in to attempt the extra point. And it's good. The Wolverines go 14 plays, covering 84 yards. And look at the time of possession, 7 minutes and 56 seconds.
First, I want you to check out Shea Patterson as he puts his eyes over to the left side of the field, and that's going to open up just enough space. And then, as you see at the back end right here, now his eyes, they're going to go back to this side of the field. He sees that he's got space with Nico Collins, the big wide receiver, and he goes right up to his face mask. What do you do with a 6'4", 218-pound guy? Let him go upstairs and win over the top. Jim Harbaugh loves it, as he should. Shea Patterson, great play.
11th passing touchdown of the season for Patterson. And Michigan takes a 7-0 lead as we start the second quarter after about an hour and 20-minute rain delay.
Gus, we talk a lot about the tight ends for Michigan in the run game and the philosophy, but I will tell you this, Nico Collins and Donovan Peoples-Jones, they are two of the most impressive looking wide receivers that I have seen all year when you go down and you watch pregame warm-up. And I just have a sense as Patterson gets more comfortable in this offense, you're going to see those two in particular, and maybe even Tariq Black, who's starting to come back from a foot injury. They're going to start to make their presence known in the second half of this season. And that's the element of this Michigan team, that if they can get that passing game going and some explosiveness with those big wide receivers, then watch out.
Nico Collins, 6'4", Donovan Peoples-Jones, 6'2". Zach Moody will send it away. Connor Hayward is the deep man as Moody slips. This one will be fielded inside the 10-yard line with some good running room for the Spartans. A flag on the play as Michigan State advances the ball to the 30. Simmons with the return.
I think you're going to get a hold on Michigan State here.
During the return, holding, number 12, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. First down.
All right, tonight on FS1, it's Game 7 of the NLCS. Dodgers-Brewers. One final game for the NL pennant, with the winner to face the Red Sox in the World Series. Coverage begins tonight at 7 Eastern on FS1 and the Fox Sports app. As we take a look at the starting pitchers for tonight's Walker Buehler, the Dodgers, and Yolis Chasen for the Brew Crew. First and 10 of the 12. Colin Lucas, L.J. Scott in the backfield for Michigan State. Here's L.J. Scott with a lane, and L.J. Scott gains maybe 8 yards on the play. Lavert Hill, first man to him. They give him 9.
And I guess this defense, you've got to establish the run. Their pass defense is so good. You cannot just rely on throwing the football to move the ball down the field. They've got to get this run game going. And L.J. Scott so far today, he has looked very explosive. He's got a nice catch out of the backfield earlier, out of the swing route. And a good run there right down the teeth of the Michigan defense.
2nd and 1. Out of the offset eye. Circle in motion. Scott again looking for the first down, and he has it. L.J. Scott from Youngstown, Ohio. He's looking to become just the 3rd Spartan to lead the team in rushing 4 straight years. Joining Javon Ringer and Lorenzo White.
A lot of people were surprised that he's back this year. And unfortunate for him that he's dealt with that injury, but looking to have a huge second half of the season. And it's certainly a spot where his team needs him, and they need him to contribute in a big way.
First down to the 23. They pitch it to Scott. Tries to get outside, and some good coverage from Winovich, as well as Josh Ross combining on the tackle.
And it's really the makeup speed and the speed in general of these Michigan players. I want you to watch the linebacker as well as Winovich. It's all of a sudden they get beat for a split second, and then bang, they're outside containing the edge. It looks like L.J. Scott's going to run for 6, 7, maybe even 8 yards, but then that space is closed down by the speed of the Michigan defense. Josh Ross, the sophomore, doing a heck of a job there from that linebacker position.
Winovich just named to the Associated Press midseason All-American team on Tuesday. Here's Lewerke, bouncing. Lewerke throws on the move and throws it out of bounds.
Boy, there's just nowhere to throw the ball. You can just see, as a quarterback, you see the body language of another quarterback when he's looking around and he's just like, there is nowhere to go. This is looking left and right of Brian Lewerke, and this man coverage is just so tight. There's no separation. There's nowhere to go with the ball. These guys in the back end, Lavert Hill, David Long, Tyreek Kinnell, Josh Metellus, they're playing at such a high level right now on that side.
3rd and 8 at the 25 for Lewerke. Lewerke looking, drops it off, short side, incomplete. Closest man to the football for Michigan State, Connor Hayward. And the Spartans will have to punt it away.
They were trying to run a little route out of the backfield and get Hayward locked up on the linebacker and then get him to the outside of the field. Watch as he releases to the outside. Now he's going to try to work and then get to the sideline, but he just doesn't get there quick enough. There's no separation. Good coverage there from Josh Ross. Nice series for number 12.
Tyler Hunt punting for the 2nd time. Donovan Peoples-Jones is the deep man. And he has it at the 30. Almost muffed it, a 45-yard punt. So the Michigan defense holds. Welcome back, 7-0. Michigan leading Michigan State. Wolverines with the ball at their own 30-yard line. Shea Patterson, 6 of 7, 65 yards, and a throwing touchdown. The first throwing touchdown for Michigan against Michigan State since 2011.
He came out sharp after the delay, 3 of 3 on the last drive, including that touchdown to Nico Collins.
Ben Mason. And Mason turns the corner.
Ben Mason, 42.
And Mason picking up 3. Kari Willis there to knock him out of play.
This offense is just at a totally different spot than they were a year ago. In large part due to their quarterback. I don't want to take away what he's doing. His numbers aren't terrific, but what he's doing game management wise with his feet, it's been very good.
Play fake. Patterson sets up, bounces out of the pocket, buys time, flag on the play, and he throws it out of bounds.
There's a couple of flags down. They might get, there was a clear holding in the backfield, but then there was also Zach Gentry down the field as he was running his route as a tight end. made pretty severe contact to try to get space offensively and extend it away from the defender.
There were fouls on the play by both teams. Holding, offense, number 76. Personal foul, hands to the face, defense, number 5. Those penalties offset, second down.
Jawan Bushell-Beatty, the right tackle, called for the hold.
Yeah, and Bushell-Beatty, it was a clear hold in that back end right in front of Patterson, as Kenny Willekes had really a clear path to Patterson in the backfield. So Bushell-Beatty, who had a great game a week ago against Wisconsin, played maybe the best football of his life a year ago at that right tackle position. It's called for the hold here.
Second down and 7 at the 33-yard line. Higdon back in at running back. They'll give it to him. Looking. And he stopped. Raequan Williams again. We called his name a lot in the first quarter. Continues here in the second.
I love watching Raequan Williams play. I love his backstory, everything about him. 6'4", 300 pounds, from the south side of Chicago. Has been through a lot in his life. And this guy is a leader. He is a great player with a bright future. And a great play there, bringing up an opportunity to get off the field.
Mark D'Antonio, so interesting. He says you look at Raequan on film and you wonder how he got a scholarship. Third down and 5 to 35. He just makes plays. Here's Patterson. Delivers. Sideline. And incomplete. Grant Perry, the intended receiver, well covered on that play by Xavier Henderson.
Yeah, Henderson getting a little time out there in the nickel package. He's 6'1", 200 pounds, just a true freshman from the state of Ohio. He enrolled early, so he was here for spring football at Michigan State and did a heck of a job defending that wheel route as they were trying to get Grant Perry out of kind of the inside area down the sideline.
So Will Hart punts from the 20. His second punt of the game. Shakir Brown is the deep man. This one over his head and into the end zone. A 65-yard punt. 11:16 to go, second quarter. Here comes Brian Lewerke and the Spartans right after this. Straight games. Spartans coming off a huge win last week when they traveled to Happy Valley and came back in the end to defeat Penn State. Chase Winovich, I tell you, he's one of my favorite players. When guys like you talk about a player with a motor, I think he's a perfect example.
That's the one, right? That's like he's the definition in the Webster's dictionary.
First down, Lewerke goes deep up the sideline and incomplete. That one thrown a little too far by Lewerke, and that'll bring up second and long.
And they have not had a catch by a wide receiver so far today. They've got right now 2 completions, one out of the backfield to L.J. Scott. Another one was Connor Haywood from the slot, running a little slant. He's a running back. So this pass defense living up to its billing. It's the #1 pass defense in the country.
You expect Felton Davis to start getting more looks from Lewerke. He's such a talented player. Second and 10 of the 20. And they run the reverse. Here's Hayward, and Hayward dropped quickly. Michigan defense standing right on the play.
Man, they're just so fast. They're so aggressive. This defensive line, the linebacker core, it's too tough to run away from Michigan. Anytime you get a defense that is fast like this, I think the better plan of attack is running at them or use their aggressiveness against them with the screen game and potentially the quarterback run game.
Tyree Kittle with the tackle there. A senior from Huber Heights, Ohio. 3rd and 11 at the 19. Lewerke over the middle and nothing. Incomplete once again. Thank you very much. Welcome back to East Lansing. 7-0 Michigan. Wolverines have won 6 in a row since that opening season loss to Notre Dame. 1st and 10 at the 49. Play fake. Screen coming up. McCune with room. McCune first down, Wolverines.
Down at the
A 16-yard gain for Sean McHugh.
And it didn't go unless Karan Higdon, who got the fake in the first place at the running back position, unless he picked up the blitz. He stepped in there, bang, picked up the blitz, allowed Patterson to retreat into the screen pass, and they set up a beautiful play there on the left side.
8 of 16, first down at the 35. Patterson to throw it. Steps up in the pocket. Patterson runs it and a tiptoe out of bounds at the 30. 5-yard gain. Shea Patterson so good at buying time.
Yeah. And I think that's been a huge addition. You know, we saw in the Northwestern game that when you've got coverage like this, he looks left, he's got no one, he's trying to go down the field to Nico Collins, he's covered, and then he's got the ability to slip out of the pocket, and then he doesn't have to force the ball down the field. He's got the feet to go in there, gain positive yards, and keep them on schedule. That has been a huge deal for Michigan this year.
Remember last week he had a career-long 81-yard run and scored a rushing touchdown against the Badgers. 2nd and 5, and they'll run it. Michigan State says no way. This time, great defense, Person, first man to him, Ronnie Bell on the reverse.
And here's why this is such a huge play, is because Michigan is dead last in this scenario, 3rd and long in college football. If they've got 3rd and more than 7 yards to go, they only convert at 12% of the time. This is when the protection gets stressed, and Patterson has got to be great in the pocket with his feet.
3rd down and 10 at the Michigan State 35. Trips at the top of your screen for the Wolverines. Patterson underneath. That ball deflected at the line of scrimmage, incomplete.
What a play by Naquan Jones. He's working against the left guard, Ben Bredesen. And he's just trying to get the bull rush in there. He's big, 93, that big paw comes out, that right arm, and he's got Chris Evans. Patterson would have had Chris Evans probably for a conversion if it weren't for Naquan Jones. What a great play.
So Michigan will go for it on 4th and 10 at the Michigan State 35. Donovan Peoples-Jones, look at him. He's the 2nd receiver at the top of your screen.
Timeout, Michigan State.
And the Spartans call their first timeout of the first half with 8:12 to play. We'll take a break. Hosting Michigan. So on 4th down and 10 at the 35, Wolverines going for it. They will not snap the football. So Jim Harbaugh has a decision to make. His
delay of game, offense, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
Looks like he'll punt it.
Yeah, it's interesting because he's got a kicker in Quinn Nordine who's got the leg. He's got plenty of leg. Here's the issue, though, Gus. I was down there in pregame. He missed about 50% of his kicks each direction. Now, it was windier in pregame, but after missing 2 last week against Wisconsin, that might be a confidence issue with their kicker right now.
Hart punting from the 45, tries the end-over-end kick. Can he draw it back as it goes out of bounds? And it goes out of bounds at the 6-yard line. Well done by Will Hart. Now next up on Fox, Colorado takes on Jake Browning and number 15 Washington. Then at 7:30 Eastern, the 12th ranked Oregon Ducks battle number 25 Washington State. That's all still to come today on Fox and the Fox Sports app. And I tell you, they're talking some They're saying some good things about this kid at Oregon, Justin Herbert.
Yes, sir. I mean, everybody I talk to in the NFL circles think that he could be the top pick in the draft. But hey, how about Gardner Minshew, the transfer at Washington State? Over 400 yards per game. They've done a heck of a job this year. Remember, they lost their defensive coordinator, Alex Grinch. Tracy Claeys came in there, and he's got them playing great defense again. And yes, I did say great defense at Washington State under Mike Leach.
First down for the Spartans at their own 6. And they'll run it with the Wildcat as Ladarius Jefferson will give him a little bit more room to work. A 1-yard gain.
I think they're going to have to start running the quarterback, whether it's Jefferson out of the Wildcat and or Brian Lewerke, who last year ran it for over 500 yards in the season. They're going to have to start doing that, and the screen game. Take the aggressiveness away from Michigan. I think that's the way that they need to start attacking this defense.
Lewerke 2 for 7, 23 yards, 2nd and 9. Here's Lewerke. And incomplete. That ball thrown high once again. Darrell Stewart covered by Josh Metellus.
And Darrell Stewart's just coming off of an injury. 6'2", 217 should be a matchup issue for Josh Metellus. The difference, though, is Metellus runs 6 foot at his safety position, 204 pounds, but he can run and he can cover. This is one of the best safeties in the Big Ten, if not the country. And right now, Michigan is just doing a heck of a job against these wide receivers in their man coverage.
Spartans are 0 for 3 on 3rd down conversions, 3rd and 9 at their own 7. As the sun comes out in East Lansing. Lewerke. And incomplete again. Felton Davis, the intended receiver.
That's 7 straight incompletions for Lewerke. Hit on his first 2 passing attempts, but there's been nowhere to go. This Michigan defense, again, going to give their offense great field position. The field position battle now just being won by Michigan series after series, but they have not been able to convert, in particular last series when they got the ball at the 50.
Tyler Hunt, 8 yards deep in his own end zone. Peoples-Jones comes up to field it, has it at the 41 and is dropped immediately, but the Wolverines will huddle up and start inside Michigan State territory. And now a quick message from Dr. Pepper.
Jam cakes.
Dr. Pepper, the official drink of Fansville.
Seven to nothing. Spartans trying to figure out this Michigan squad right now. They have done a solid job defensively, but offensively they've had a tough go running the ball or throwing the ball. Right now, 1st and 10 at the 43 for the Wolverines. They hand it off Higdon, and Higdon dropped immediately by Willikis. Let's go to Mike Hill for a game break.
You guys got Oklahoma next week. Sooners TCU today. OU once led this one 28-7, but the Frogs came back to make it a 4-point game until Kyler Murray found Lee Morris for the 2nd touchdown of the game for Morris. That one for 27 yards. It's now 38-27 in the 3rd. Gus, Joel.
Thank you very much, Michael. 2nd and 10 at the 43. Patterson dropping back. Throws off his back foot and just throws it out of play. Good pressure being applied by Michigan State.
They're going to have a little conversation about whether there was a player, a wide receiver in the area.
There's no foul for attempts on the ground, and the quarterback was outside the pocket.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
Line of scrimmage. 3rd down.
I think that Patterson was outside of that barrier, that tackle box, which allows him to burn that football. But now again, these 3rd and longs, Michigan 1 for their last 22 in 3rd and longs.
3rd down and 10. Patterson, sideline, caught but not enough for 1st down. Zach Gentry with the catch. So will Jim Harbaugh give Quinn Nordine a chance?
This is about the exact same position that he just punted from. Heck of a job by this defense. Now back-to-back series where they're going to force a kick, and it's going to be the second straight time that the offense had great field position and the defense has forced at least what looks to be a punt. This is the type of field position, though, in particular way Michigan's defense, you got to watch out for a fake.
Fourth punt for Hart. Shakir Brown is the deep man for Michigan State. And it rolls into the end zone for a touchback. 5:42 to play in the second quarter. 7-0. Tight one in East Lansing.
You want to bring the heat? Prove it. With carbs to help fuel muscles. And electrolytes to help replace what you lose in sweat. Studied, tested, proven. Nothing beats Gatorade.
5:42 to go in the second quarter, partner. This is turning out to be a defensive gym.
Yeah, it really is. And a big credit to the Michigan State defense, because I felt like their back has been against the wall here on back-to-back series with the excellent field position that the Wolverines have had. And now they've forced a couple of straight punts and clearly an issue in confidence right now going on in the kicking game between Jim Harbaugh and Quinn Nordin, because they were within range without a lot of wind right now. The wind is basically 0 on the playing surface, and they have not attempted a couple of long field goals.
Spartans start at their own 20-yard line. And they'll hand it off to Scott. Scott with room. Field position has been an issue, as you mentioned, Joel. Michigan State, their drives have started at the 20, the 12, the 20, the 6, and the 20.
That's right, folks. That averages out to their own 16-yard line. Meanwhile, Michigan's been starting on average about their own 36-yard line. So it's a game in which Michigan State's going to have to start tipping that field position back into their favor. They've got to do that by sustaining a drive and moving the sticks.
Second down and 4. Scott. And he will not get back to the line of scrimmage. Looks like he ran into a wall. Hudson and Winovich in on the play.
And I tell you what, man, these guys up front, what always interests me about watching and breaking down the film of Michigan is that they play so fast, and yet they're not just a speed defense. They can line up and play with some power. Winovich takes pride in that. He's not a big guy as a defensive end, but at 255, he's one of the better run defenders out there as well. And he can hold his own as 6'3".
Third down and 4 at the 26. Lewerke looking for the first down. That one thrown at the feet of Felton Davis, incomplete. Brandon Watson in coverage for the Wolverines, and the Spartans offense will walk off the field once again.
And there is no rhythm in that passing game. The protection has not been terrible. He's had to force the ball maybe a beat sooner than he wanted to a couple of different occasions, but there's just no room to throw it. When there's no space, that man defense out there, it can feel like there's 15 defenders on the field. That's the way it probably feels for Brian Lewerke right now.
Tyler Hunt, his 5th punt, this time from the 12. Donovan Peoples-Jones standing at the 35. And this one goes out of bounds around the 45-yard line. So let's take a look, partner, at what's happened so far.
Let's go all the way back to pregame. This was Devin Bush, the middle linebacker from Michigan, clawing at that Spartan in the middle of the field. And then they came out, and they've been playing terrific defensively for the Wolverines. There's been nowhere to go for Michigan State. We had then the weather delay. The weather delay was a little over an hour, about an hour 20, hour and 30 minutes that the teams had to be in the locker room. When they came out, the best offensive series for either team. Michigan put it together right down the field. Shea Patterson tried to quiet the crowd, found Nico Collins in the back of the end zone, and now the Wolverines are back on offense.
First down at the 42. Higdon. Higdon breaks free. Higdon still on the move. Picks up a first down. Gets down the sideline. Burst of speed. Cuts it inside and he's down. inside the Michigan State 20. That's a gain of 38 yards. Joe Bocci with the tackle.
And it probably should have been a loss of 2. Kenny Willekes was around the left side of this offense quickly. Number 48 has Higdon in his sights, but Higdon steps away. He gets that left leg free, breaks another tackle deep. There's a little hat cam from our umpire in the middle of the field, and he was gone down the left sideline.
First down at the 20-yard line for the Wolverines. Higdon again, and Higdon will spin forward. Panashuk with the tackle after a 4-yard gain.
Boy, they are just hammering away on that left side of their offensive line.
John Runyon's over there.
John Runyon, 6'5", 310. Ben Bredesen, a junior, 6'5", 320 pounds, voted a team captain. Jim Harbaugh had a lot of quality things to say about Ben Bredesen, and they're trying to ride that left side as much as they can.
On 2nd and 6, Higdon. He'll churn his way through the hole. Picks up 3. Panashuk again.
I don't want to leave out Cesar Ruiz, number 51, the center, because Michigan does something, and Stanford does this a lot too. They're one of the few teams that will actually pull their center out and actually get him leading up in front of those running backs. And Cesar Ruiz does a great job of that at 6'4", 319 pounds.
3rd down and 3 at the 13. Michigan 0 for their last 3 on 3rd down conversion. Here's Patterson rolling. Patterson. And he'll be sacked. Andrew Dowell with the sack. 5-yard loss.
You got to throw this ball, and I think that's what Jim Harbaugh is telling them right now, because he's got Donovan Peoples-Jones. Watch Peoples-Jones as he's going to force his way up into the end zone, and then he's going to look inside. That space, you got to give him a chance. He's got 3 yards, 2 yards there on the defender, and Patterson's got that whole corner to throw the ball to. There's no reason to hold on to it, and now they're going with the field goal kicker, Quinn Nordin.
So here's Nordin. He was 3 for 5 against Wisconsin last week. Missed from 54 and 41. Oh, my goodness.
Heck of a job by this defense. Obviously helped out by Nordin, who just absolutely hooks it. The duck hook knuckleball. Not even close. And after 3 straight possessions that Michigan started on the plus side of their own 40-yard line, once on the plus side of the 40, one at the 50, one inside Michigan State territory, and they come away with 0 total points. This defense has got to be thrilled. Sometimes your defense can create momentum for your offense. Let's see if that's the case here for Michigan State, who needs it desperately for their offense.
Spartans with 2 timeouts remaining here in the first half. 1:36 to go.
Just seems so eerily similar to last week. Last week, Alex Hornibrook come out, completed his first couple of passes. Then he went 12 straight without completing another one. Lewerke comes out this week, completes his first couple of passes. Now he's been 8 straight incompletions for Michigan State.
Delay of game. Offense. Number 14. 5-yard penalty. First down.
How in the world can they call that? They were holding the snap.
They were holding the snap.
There was no substitution. They're coming off the sideline. They were lined up in plenty of time. We'll try to get an explanation, but you can't hold them like that and call it delay. Come on. What are we doing?
So they'll move it back to the 15. First down and 15 for Lewerke.
They're having a hard enough time making first downs, much less with 15.
Here's Lewerke, sprints out of the pocket, looks, delivers, and caught for first down. Stewart picked it up off the turf, and that may get this Spartan squad motivated. That's a gain of 17 yards.
And they're going to try to get some tempo here to try to get some rhythm in the offense.
Ooh, I don't know. Lewerke gets the snap off, throws to the sideline. No flag on the play. Felton Davis, the intended receiver, looks like he was held, but no call. David Long covering for Michigan.
A lot of bang-bang plays here. They get the snap off, avoid the review on the last play, but then David Long probably got away with one on that far side. A lot of contact holding Felton Davis as he tried to get to that ball.
2nd and 10 at the 30. Lewerke serving, and he's sacked. 2nd sack of the day. Uche, he's got 2. Joshua Uche, the junior from Miami, with his 2nd sack here in the first half.
And you're getting some of these guys that are getting a chance because Rashawn Gary is not on the field, banged up with that shoulder, and Uche has taken advantage. There is a banged up Spartan on the field. That's number 18, Felton Davis, their best wide receiver. He went down at the line of scrimmage, never got out in his route.
Spartans have just been besieged by injuries. Cody White, Darrell Stewart, Jalen Naylor, Cam Chambers they lost.
They lost Larice Nelson for this week, who's not playing. He was a big part of that comeback victory last week at Penn State, and they're going to bring the card out right away. Here's 18. There's Felton Davis as he's coming in motion. Oh.
Man. We had a chance to spend some time with Felton yesterday. Striking young man. Very articulate, positive. Junior from Richmond, Virginia.
And he was putting together a season too. 6'4", 200, drawing the attention of a lot of scouts that I was talking to, in particular with his performance last week, over 100 yards. That is terrible. Feel for that young man.
A minute and 10 to play in the first half.
And one of the hardest things to do is go out there and retain your level of urgency when one of your friends, your leaders, one of your best players goes down like that. It can suck the air out of your team offensively. If I'm Lewerke, you got to avoid a mistake here.
3rd down and 14 at the 26. Lewerke rolls out, sets, throws. Oh, almost intercepted. Stewart, the intended receiver, David Long, almost picked it off.
I tell you what, man, these corners, David Long, this guy was a 4-star recruit, top 100 player nationally out of high school, out of the LA area in California, and he's just right there, almost a gift from Lewerke. This is exactly what I told you Lewerke had to avoid. Almost gives it to Michigan right there on their side of the 50.
6th punt of the game for Tyler Hunt. He gets that one off. Donovan Peoples-Jones fields it, tries to get outside, and does. Peoples-Jones cuts it in, and he's at midfield. A 40-yard punt and a 16-yard return. Don't forget, coming up at the half, Rob Stone, Dave Wannstedt, Matt Leinart, and Robert Smith are standing by with the State Farm halftime show.
Boy, this is like rinse repeat right now. Great field position. 3 straight times Michigan has been unable to capitalize on great field position now. This is the 2nd time in the last 4 series that they're going to start their series on the plus side of the 50 in Michigan State territory. We'll see what they can do with it.
Wolverines have 1 timeout, 45 seconds to play. From the 48, Patterson drops it off and incomplete. Gentry, closest man to the football for Michigan.
You know, it's interesting because during the week, Shea Patterson was talking a lot in several articles about the fact that he wanted to be a better game manager, and that's the progression that he wanted to do. I actually disagree with the way that this game is going. He game manages just fine. He's got to take some chances with these big wide receivers, allow them to go make a play for him down the field. A lot of holding the football in the pocket that I don't think is necessary.
2nd and 10 of the 48. Patterson. And to the flats to Higdon, and he'll get out of bounds right at the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play.
Brings up third down and 10 to go.
This is one of those opportunities. Remember, Michigan came into this game dead last in college football, converting on 3rd and long, 7 or more yards. I believe it has to do with Patterson allowing his wide receivers to win. He's got a big mismatch at the top of your screen to Patterson's right. He's got Nico Collins. It looks to be in a one-on-one situation.
Timeout, Michigan State.
So the Spartans will use their second timeout, each team with 1 remaining. And don't forget to check out Breaking the Huddle with my main man here, Joel Klatt, my partner, on Facebook Live Wednesday at 5:30 p.m. Eastern, sponsored by Dr. Pepper. Getting some traction on that show, man?
Well, we would get better traction if you want to come on. If you want to join me.
I'd love to.
I ain't got no money.
I will not be joining you.
You're the best. You are the best.
You know it is, partner. If it don't make dollars, it don't make sense. 3rd and 10 at the 48 for Jim Harbaugh.
Oh, man. Well, here we go. Same formation, although this time now they're going to have Donovan Peoples-Jones as well on the field. He was not on the field prior to that last snap before the timeout. There's Peoples-Jones. He's got Nico Collins up to the right. There's your mismatches. If you're Patterson, you've got to get the ball to one of those 2 guys.
Here's Patterson. Holding the ball. Patterson delivers. Incomplete. Donovan Peoples-Jones, the intended receiver. He was covered, though, by Kari Willis and Xavier Henderson.
I still like the attempt, though. I mean, give him a chance. Get the ball down the field. It does a couple of different things. One, it forces the defense to make a play. It also gets the safeties out of the box. It forces them to cover the length of the field, and potentially it can open up your run game later in the game.
Punt for Michigan.
So Michigan will punt it away. 5th punt of the game for Will Hart. Now, Hart has been a weapon for this Wolverine team.
30 seconds.
The Wolverines are 11th in the country in net punting, gaining 42 yards of field position on average each time they kick it.
He's got a huge leg, and we've seen that today. He kicked a couple of them 60-plus yards.
Remember after the Nebraska game, we talked to Coach Harbaugh on the phone, and they had a huge game, a lot of individual standouts, and we asked him who stood out in the game.
Said the punter. I didn't know if he was just like messing with the, because you never know with Coach Harbaugh.
But now I understand.
Yeah, I do as well. And in particular, when you're going to play this great a defense, when you're going to try to play ball control, what comes into play then field position. And this guy right here is a huge weapon when it comes to the field position. And we've seen that play out today. Their offense unable to capitalize on it, but they have absolutely dominated the field position game so far.
Hart has kicked a 54-yarder and a 65-yarder in this game already.
Timeout, Michigan.
And the Wolverines will use their final timeout of the first half.
Chris Partridge, the special teams coach, he was jumping up and down and then finally begged Jim Harbaugh on the sideline to call timeout. He clearly saw something that he did not like. Chris also coaches the safeties, does a heck of a job for them with Tyreek Kennel and Josh Metellus, but then he handles the special teams along with Jim's brother Jay. Jay's involved heavily with those special teams as well. Jay Harbaugh deals with the running backs. His coaching staff. That's another thing that Jim will praise a lot, is his coaching staff. Talks a lot about how these guys are doing a heck of a job this year.
So on 4th down, Will Hart standing at his own 37. Shakur Brown is the deep man. And with English, it'll be down at the 10 with 19, making 18 seconds remaining in the first half.
Absolutely no reason to do anything other than take a knee. Not against this defense, not with the way that you've been playing offensively for Michigan State. I would take a knee and take it into the locker room, because quite frankly, the way that this first half has gone, Michigan with 170 total yards, Michigan State with 50, averaging 2 yards per play. With this aggressive of a defense, the last thing you would want to do is create some sort of wild play.
Michigan State 25 plays, 50 yards. And Lewerke will take a knee. It's been a defensive battle here in East Lansing. Michigan State, Michigan both having problems moving the football.
I would be thrilled if I was Michigan State to only be down 7 with those 4 series in a row that their defense was their backs against the walls, and we're going to have some jawing here as they head in.
Halftime here at Spartan Stadium, 7-0. Michigan leads Michigan State. Right now, we'll send you to Rob Stone in Los Angeles.
All right, guys.
7-0. The Wolverines lead the Spartans as we head to the second half. Gus Johnson, along with my partner Joel Klatt, defensive battle in that first half. Both offenses struggling.
They really did. It was really one series for Michigan that they got going offensively and ultimately put the ball in the end zone. It was right after the delay. And really, I credit Shea Patterson because he was terrific on the drive. He was 3 for 3, including this touchdown to Nico Collins. Then it was time for some football insights in the AT&T Business edge-to-edge zone, where intelligence covers every edge of the field, just like Michigan was covering every edge of the field. Man coverage on the outside allowed Uche to get loose in the back end, get to Brian Lewerke, brought him down. Great coverage, leads to the sack. But Michigan was unable to take advantage of great field position multiple times in that first half. Patterson holds on to the football. Quinn Nordine, when he was allowed to attempt the field goal, missed it badly to left. And a team that really dominated the first half in the Michigan Wolverines is only up 7-0. They ran about 37 plays in that first half. Gus, 20 of them were in the opposition's territory. They should be up 17-0, 24-0 pretty easily, but they're not.
Michigan State to receive the football to start the second half. Hayward, the deep man. And this one will begin at the goal line, and the Spartans will get it up to the 17. Hayward, let's go downstairs to Jenny Taft.
Well, guys, I was walking off the field with Coach Harbaugh when that altercation between the two teams took place. He was not happy about it. He ran over, tried to get his guys to the locker room as fast as he could. He told me, we need to play smart football. That's not it. We've got a lot to do still in the second. And Coach D'Antonio, guys, in terms of getting that offense going, they were held scoreless against this team in the first. That hasn't been done since 2012. He said we need to execute better, play within our system. Unfortunately, that's without Felton Davis. He has torn his Achilles, guys. A big loss for the offense.
Oh, terrible. First down and 10 at the 17. Let's see if they really start giving the ball to L.J. Scott. Lewerke underneath, and it's caught. Terrific route by Cam Chambers, and he'll gain 22.
Excellent route. Got to the inside, runs a little slant, and then the ball was absolutely on the money. There is a flag. What is in the backfield right now, so we'll have to see.
Ooh, late hit by Winovich. Or maybe even a later hit by Reed.
Personal foul. Defense, number 15. The 15-yard penalty will be added on at the end of the run. First down.
And a huge mistake, and this is what happens when you let a team off the hook in the first half. Then one mistake can change the complexion of the game. In a one-score game now, all of a sudden, Michigan State snaps the football one time, and they're on the plus side of the 50-yard line. Got to capitalize on this momentum. Look for some creativity here offensively. Without Felton Davis, you've got to get L.J. Scott involved in the offense, maybe some screen passes, potentially even some more of Ladarius Jefferson out of that wildcat position as well.
So a 22-yard gain on the pass play plus the personal foul penalty. Michigan State first down and 10 at the Michigan 48. Here's the option, Hayward. Hayward with some running room, and finally he's decked. That's Monet and Devin Bush, and another flag.
And there was again some jawing going on over there. Brian Monet got up. Number 90.
After the play, unsportsmanlike conduct. Defense, number 10. His first of the game. 15-yard penalty. He added on the end of the run. First down.
They called Devin Bush. I thought it was going to be Monet, who was also in on the tackle. There's the hit, and then who knows what was said. See, Monet gets up. Bush just kind of goes over the sideline. Unless he was saying something to the official or to the opponent. Boy, I have no idea what that unsportsmanlike penalty would have been.
Michigan State with the football to the Michigan 28-yard line. Lewerke, incomplete. That one thrown behind his intended receiver, Justin Lane. Now, Justin Lane is a junior from Cleveland. He's listed on the depth chart as a defensive back, but because of the injuries, he's playing wide receiver today.
Well, I mean, the injuries have just taken their toll, and now with Felton Davis out, that's why I said they're going to have to get creative, because they don't have a core of wide receivers that is, one, healthy or two, experienced. The most experienced guy is going to be Darrell Stewart, a heck of a receiver. This is his first game back from an injury, so we'll see what they can do on the outside.
2nd and 10 at the 28. Michigan helping Michigan State with 2 personal foul penalties on this series. Lewerke in trouble. Lewerke delivers, and it's an incomplete pass intended for Brandon Sowers.
Yeah, and a really smart play from Sowers, because he understood he was about to lose about 10 yards if he catches that pass. It hit him, and as he's going to the ground, he just kind of drops it and then signals for the official like, hey, I dropped it. No, that's an incomplete pass. He's a senior, and a heck of a play there, because losing any type of yardage before a conversion opportunity, in particular when you're already in field goal range, would have been devastating. So a huge play by Brandon Sowers on what looks like just a regular incompletion.
Senior from Wyandotte Roosevelt High School, 3rd down and 10 at the 28. Lewerke dancing in the pocket, throws off his back foot, and incomplete. But there is another penalty flag.
It looks like this is going to be a hold on Michigan State. They're asking the bench right now whether they want to take it or decline it.
Holding. Offense. Number 55. 10-yard penalty. 3rd down.
Now here's why you're going to take this penalty and not decline it. You would think decline it, it's 4th down. No, if you take it, now you're getting them out of their field goal range. Now if you get 1 negative play or stop them for no gain, you're going to decrease the chances that Michigan State can, 1, attempt a field goal, and 2, whether they would make it or not. So that's why Jim Harbaugh there decided to take that penalty on 3rd down.
3rd down and 20. Wildcat formation, Hayward, and he's dropped for a loss.
That's exactly why you take that penalty. Great game management from the bench from Jim Harbaugh and Michigan, understanding that his defense is one of the best in the country at tackles for loss. They get over 7 per game. They take the penalty. Then they get a negative play, and now Michigan State is forced totally out of field goal range, and they're going to have to punt it away.
Kwity Paye, who's been balling out this season for Michigan, with the tackle. Tyler Hunt with his 7th punt of the game. Donovan Peoples-Jones standing inside his own 15. And it's fair caught at the 11. 12:51 to play, 3rd quarter. 7-0. Here come the Wolverines. 86 yards and a touchdown. Wolverines start deep in their own territory at their own 11. Karan Higdon in the backfield, almost begging for the football. He'll get it. Wow, what a play, blown up in the backfield. Higdon just upended by Willekes.
Yeah, Willekes is just owning the tight ends right now, and that might have shaken Higdon up, who came up A little gingerly with that left leg. Willikis is just doing a heck of a job right now. The tight ends do not have the ability to block him off the edge. That was Zach Gentry trying to make a play.
2nd and 12 at the 9. Play fake. Patterson, sideline. Thrown high and incomplete. Nico Collins couldn't get up to get it.
And that ball looked like it slipped out of his hands. The rain is starting to fall again here at Spartan Stadium. And this is the conditions I always felt like were tougher as a quarterback when it was just slightly raining, because that ball just gets a little bit damp. It gets much slicker at that point. You either want it soaking wet or completely dry. I've always thought that this is the toughest time to throw the ball, and he's in that situation here. 3rd and long, backed up.
3rd down and 12 at the 9. Patterson will hand it off to Evans, and he swung, fumble. Spartans have it. First turnover of the game. And Michigan State has it deep in Michigan territory.
I think it was Raekwon Williams who came back to get the strip.
Brandon Boyer-Randall with the recovery.
There he is, big Raekwon Williams. See how he comes in with that right paw. He gets it, and then 26, Boyer-Randall jumps on the ball. And when you do not capitalize on field position, you allow a team to be within 1 score, then you're 1 play away from being in a tie ball game. And that's essentially what Michigan has allowed Michigan State to do. Brian Lewerke and this Spartans offense have a heck of an opportunity, but they've got to capitalize here.
The Spartans 1st down and goal at the Michigan 7. Lewerke hands it off. Scott. And Scott dragged down inside the 5 by Devin Bush.
I mean, this looked like it was wide open, and then all of a sudden, Bush is going to close. Watch his Bush. Here he comes, and then he's just going to keep coming, and he's right there. Bam. That hole was wide open, and then number 10 closes it down as quickly as it's opened up.
A 3-yard gain, 2nd and goal at the 4. Can Michigan State pay it off? They pitch it. The reverse. Lewerke's open. Touchdown Spartans. Down Stewart. Mark D'Antonio pulling out another wrinkle. He did it last week at Penn State. A fake punt. A halfback pass. A fake field goal. And now his quarterback is on the receiving end of a touchdown.
We know what this play is. Philly, Philly. Except this time, it's at Michigan State to Brian Lewerke.
Coughlin comes in. And we're level at 7. Michigan State forces the turnover. And there is a flag on the play.
More pushing, and it looked like Aubrey Solomon, number 5 from Michigan, was the last one with a shove. Looked like that's when the flag came out. It's just a matter of how much the official saw.
After the play, there was 2 unsportsmanlike conduct penalties against each team. Unsportsmanlike conduct number 66, unsportsmanlike conduct number 5. Those fouls offset. That is the first of the game for each player. Media timeout.
11 minutes to play. 7-7. Back after this. Murphy with his first career reception, it goes for a touchdown. Stewart with his first career pass attempt, it goes for a touchdown. 7-up in East Lansing, Michigan. Michigan State. Line drive kick, bobbled, and finally picked up at the 7-yard line by Thomas. And Thomas is down quickly at the 12. Grayson Miller with the tackle on special teams. Now, in a few moments, those of you in Colorado and Washington will be taken to the start of Colorado versus Washington. That game will also be available on Fox Business Network as well as streaming live on the Fox Sports app. We will get you the rest. We will get the rest of you out there at the immediate conclusion of our game. And we've got one brewing here.
Boy, how good has this defense been? Holding Michigan out of the end zone, holding them from points. When they had great field position, they get the turnover on the last drive. We'll see if they can do it once more.
First down for Patterson at his own 11. Higdon gets to the 15 as Tyreek Thompson brings him down.
It's like clockwork with Michigan. If they can get themselves, Gus, into 3rd and short, they're going to convert, stay on the field, and potentially get themselves into scoring range. If they can, they're one of the worst teams, came into the game as the worst team, converting in 3rd and long. So right now, this is the important down. You can't have an incompletion. You can't have a negative play. Got to gain positive yards and get into that 3rd and short.
2nd down and 6. Peoples-Jones in motion. Higdon knocked backwards. Higdon again tackled for a loss. This time it's Jack Camper. A lot of pressure. Raekwon Williams has been incredible.
He absolutely has. Watch as he's going to get into the backfield and he's going to get over to that left side. And he just gets to that left side and forces Higdon back. Doesn't make the tackle, but he's the one that forces the negative play. And now the exact situation I was talking about. 3rd and long.
He manhandled Ben Bredesen. 3rd down and 7 to the 14. Michigan 0 for their last 6 on 3rd down conversions. Patterson over the middle. Almost intercepted. Kari Willis had it. And the Wolverines will punt it.
Totally out of sorts, this Michigan offense. Patterson thinks that Grant Perry is going to break inside. He goes outside, and Patterson almost puts it right in the lap, basically does, of Kari Willis, who almost comes up with interception. In fact, Perry just has to knock it out and play defense there with his left hand.
Hart punting for the 6th time. Shakur Brown back at his own 40. Rain coming down in buckets now. Hart sends it away. And Brown picks it up. Brown gets outside and lost it. Michigan has it now. And there's a flag. The ruling on the field, it's a fumble, and the Spartans cough it up to the Wolverines. Hewlett with the recovery.
Long discussion right now with the officials. It looks like maybe there was a block in the back right at the point where Jordan Glasgow.
During the play, there was 2 fouls on the receiving team. Holding, number 7. Holding, number 7. Legal block from the back. Number 10. Those fouls were declined. First down for Michigan after the fumble.
Matt Morrissey is number 10. He's a safety. He blocks Jordan Glasgow, the backup Viper, in the back, as he's the one that actually gets to the returner and basically knocks it out. Watch, here it's going to come to your screen right now. There's 29 Glasgow. He's the one that trips him up and kind of knocks the ball out. Hewlett comes up there and then recovers the ball. Fortunate bounce. See how he just gets his elbow, and because of the rain, that slick football next to that jersey pops itself up, and the turnover goes to the Wolverines.
So Michigan has the ball, first down and 10 at the Spartan 46. Play fake. Patterson slipping and sacked for the 2nd time. Tyreek Thompson Kenny Willekes, both in the backfield.
Willekes gets himself around that right side. Bushel Beatty just cannot handle him. And Willekes has been on fire today. Unblockable, both in the run game and in the passing game. Slicing in to get Higdon on run plays, beating the tackles and tight ends on the outside to get to Patterson.
2nd down and 17 at the 47. Patterson underneath, and it's caught. Well-designed play as Perry makes the catch. And he gains about 9.
And Jenny Taft just told us that there's some small hail actually falling on the field.
Awesome. Football played in the elements. 3rd down and 7 at the 43. Perry in motion. Patterson under pressure finds Perry. 1st down Wolverines as he gets to the Spartans 30. But this makes it really interesting, Joel. They've got a shaky kicker in Quentin Nordine.
So they're going to have to gain a lot more positive yards. Watch as Perry then falls behind that route concept. The patience allows him to create space, but you're right. You basically have to go score a touchdown right now. They punted in field goal range a couple of times. When they allowed Nordine to go out there and kick, he basically hit a duck hook knuckleball. So I have no idea if they would even attempt a field goal, even though they're in range.
1st down and 10 at the 30. Higdon straight ahead with her own. Karan Higdon gains about 8 yards on the play. Right now, Higdon, 16 carries, 73 yards. He's averaging 4.6 yards per carry.
And look at that movement from the right side. Huge hole opens up. Michael Owenu, the right guard, Juwan Bushel Beatty, mashing down the defensive line. And Higdon finally finding some running room through the middle of that defense.
Higdon with 5 straight 100-yard gains. 2nd and 2 at the 22. And they fumble! Michigan State's got the football. Unbelievable. Tyreek Thompson dug it out. Self-inflicted wounds by the Wolverines.
Normally the quarterback is responsible for the exchange, but in the zone read game, look, Patterson's eyes are on the defensive end, and Higdon is responsible for the mesh point. As soon as he slipped, his helmet is down, and the ball gets knocked loose.
Two turnovers. And you take a look at the miscues by the Wolverines. 1st down for Lewerke and the Spartans. Scott and Winovich just wraps him up. Another tackle for a loss. Big time player right here, Chase Winovich.
No doubt. And ball security is becoming so important. All 3 fumbles in this game, 2 by Michigan, 1 by Michigan State, have happened in the last 6 minutes since this rain started to come down. And you've got to be secure. I would take your gloves off. The gloves nowadays are not good in the wet weather. Your bare hands are much better. So most of these guys will go without gloves.
Especially if you're handling the football?
No question.
2nd down and 11 at the 22. Underneath, incomplete. Stewart just couldn't hang on.
Yep. He lets that ball get into his body, and it just squirts away from him. Ran a great route, and that's twice now we've seen him get open on that slant route. A strong outside move. He gets himself open on the inside. That time he was unable to come up with the catch. And this is the situation you have to avoid if you're Michigan State because of the pass rushers for Michigan, namely Uche, who's already got 2 sacks, and Winovich on the field.
Wind a factor, 20 to 25 mile per hour winds right now. Michigan State 0 for 7 on 3rd down conversions. Lewerke looking. Lewerke. And he'll just fall down at the line of scrimmage. And the Spartans will punt it away. So in a game like this, Joel, you grew up in Colorado, so snow's there all the time.
Yep.
You played at the University of Colorado. There's snow. What are the keys? What are the principles for playing in inclement weather? Wind, rain.
I always felt like the advantage was with the offense. So I always felt like it was better for the offense to get aggressive, but you get aggressive with things that are misdirection. You take the eyes of the defense one way and take them back the other way. That plays a lot with their footing. Whoa!
Great catch by Tyler Hunt. And he delivers the punt. Peoples-Jones going back, and whoa, what a roll. Out of bounds inside the 20. Tyler Hunt may get a game ball for that play.
You kidding me with that catch?
A 60-yard punt as well. Take another look.
At 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on FS1.
Fox Sports and Wendy's brings you CFB Now, hosted by our own Jenny Taft, bringing you, the fan, the best of college football throughout the season. Check it out today after the game on Twitter at the handle CFB on Fox, and we've got a great football game for you right now, folks. 7-7. Rain, wind, lightning earlier. An hour and 20-minute delay. 1st and 10 at the 18 for Michigan. Higdon, stutter step, gets through the hole and picks up a couple. Let's go to Greg Wolf in Los Angeles for a game break.
Gus, thanks. Players arriving for Game 7 of the NLCS on FS1 later today. Dodgers trying to make back-to-back trips to the Fall Classic for the first time since 1977-78. But the Brewers have home field and momentum back on their side. Coverage begins at 7 Eastern on FS1. Gus, Joel, back to you.
Thank you very much. 2nd down and 8 at the 20. Higdon remains in the backfield as the single setback. They give it to him. Higdon. And he'll be lucky to get back to the line of scrimmage. John Reschke in on the play. No gain.
Yeah, this run defense has been terrific. You know, there have been a couple of runs pop a little bit, but for the most part, this defensive line has really done a number against Michigan. They've gotten pressure on the quarterback, stopped him in the backfield, and now another 3rd and long for Michigan. They are just abysmal in this down and distance, and Kenny Willekes has created havoc for Michigan State rushing the passer.
3rd down and 8 at the 20-yard line for the Wolverines. 4 minutes to play in the 3rd. Patterson gets rid of it, and incomplete. What a dangerous throw. Not too far away from Xavier Henderson. And Willekes, the former walk-on, continuing to apply pressure.
And great coverage down the field. That's really why Patterson had to hold the football. Looking to his left and to his right, there was nowhere to go. Tight coverage, no windows, no separation, and he had to hold on to the football and then finally just kind of throw it away towards a wide receiver because he was still in that tackle box when he let that ball go.
Brandon Sowards is the deep man for Michigan State as Will Hart punts it away for the 7th time from his own 6. Line drive. Sowards fields it at the 45 and goes down in midfield. So Michigan State will have great field position. At the 50, 38-yard punt, 8-yard return. It's starting to get interesting. We're going to find out, folks, who wants to play some football in Michigan right now. (7-7). Michigan and Michigan State locked in a great battle here. Spartans with it at midfield. 1st down. L.J. Scott. And L.J. Scott met at the line of scrimmage and knocked backwards. Kwity Paye for Michigan, but there is a flag on the play.
Late flag.
Personal foul. Offense, number 75. 15-yard penalty. 1st down.
It's the right guard, Kevin Jarvis.
Jarvis is actually right over here, actually put him in at left guard.
Officials time for an injured player.
I didn't see a penalty there, Joel.
Yeah, you know, they're a little too tight right now, these officials. They need to let these kids play. Now, on the field, injured, that looks like Matt Allen, the center. The third Allen brother to play and start at the center position here at Michigan State. And he has stepped up and been a really steadying influence on this offensive line, which has had so many injuries. So they can ill afford to lose a guy like Matt Allen.
Michigan State has used 6 different offensive line combinations in 6 games.
Yeah, you look at their injuries just overall, it's been a huge problem all year. We've talked a little bit about the wide receivers, but this is what they've got going on. Josiah Scott, their corner, out indefinitely. Beadle, he's been injured. Their regular punter, Hartberger. Cody White might come back a little bit later in the year. Jalen Naylor, L.J. Scott, Kevin Jarvis, Colin Lucas, Darrell Stewart. I mean, wow. It has been a mash unit for Michigan State, and yet, like every Mark D'Antonio team, where do they always find themselves? Right back in it. You know, it's just, hey, back against the wall, who cares? They've been outplayed in this game. Gus, where are they at? 7-7. Just keep playing, keep snapping it, keep playing, keep fighting hard. That's their mantra. It's never over. It's never been over. It's just getting started. That's Mark D'Antonio, and that's why I think they're able to overcome so many injuries with this program.
New center in the game, Blake Buter. For Michigan State, first down and 25 to the 35. Lewerke over the middle, incomplete. Sowards just didn't look like he was ready to receive that football.
Yeah, timing. Again, he thinks that that ball is going to come after they make this mesh. They're going to try to run crossing routes from each side, but the problem is the rush gets to Lewerke too quickly. Carlo Kemp, number 2 for Michigan, was right in his face, and he had to throw the ball sooner than he wanted to. Both defensive lines are just making life miserable on the opposing offensive lines and the opposing quarterbacks today.
2nd and 25 at the 35. 3:18 to go in the 3rd. Lewerke over the middle again, and it's Sowers making the grab in front of Metellus. And that's an 8-yard gain. Brings up 3rd and long.
Yeah, and in these situations, as a veteran quarterback, you've got to be smart. You can't just throw blindly and risk the ball in a tight spot trying to get a conversion. You still got to be careful with the football, knowing a punt is still a good play.
3rd and 17. Here's Lewerke. And he'll deliver incomplete. Had all sorts of white jerseys in his face. Sokol, the intended receiver, so Michigan State will punt it again.
And one of those white jerseys was number 15, Chase Winovich. Again, finding himself all over Brian Lewerke, and Lewerke does the smart thing, exactly like I was talking about. Don't force the football, in particular if the pocket is closing in. I know it's frustrating, and Brian's going over to his coaching staff like, hey, I got nothing. And the coach has got to say, hey, it's okay. Right now, a punt is not a bad play.
Tyler Hunt punting from the 29. Delivers. Peoples-Jones let it die around the 20. 2:35 to go, 3rd quarter, 7-7. As we take a look at what's been happening in this 3rd quarter.
That rain started to fall, and then it was just like all sorts of stuff started happening. And after the turnover, Michigan State capitalized with that reverse pass back to Brian Lewerke, the Philly special. Michigan got itself a turnover on a special teams play, and then a quality series after that special teams play was stripped away from the Wolverines as Higdon puts the ball on the ground at the mesh point with Patterson. We'll see which offense can find some footing right now and potentially put a series together to put some points on the board.
First down and 10 at the 21 for Michigan. Patterson. Winding up, he's got a receiver. Peoples-Jones down the sideline. Peoples-Jones, touchdown, Wolverines. 79 yards.
What I tell you earlier, give these these guys a chance. I believe the best players on this offense are standing at the wide receiver position with Nico Collins and Donovan Peoples-Jones. And Patterson delivered a great ball on that outside. I mean, that was a perfectly thrown ball. But how about the athleticism of Peoples-Jones? Steps away from the tackler and goes the distance for the Wolverines. Lightning in a bottle.
13-7. Nordin in to attempt the extra point. And it's good. 2:24 to go in the third quarter. 14-7 Michigan. But this one just getting started from East Lansing. Back after this.
I mean, how about that for a little step away from Donovan Peoples-Jones? And the throw was brilliant from Shea Patterson. And he gave him a chance, you know. Hey, step back there, give your big athlete a chance on the outside, and he did that. And they were successful.
And this one fair caught inside the 10. Let's go to Greg Wolf for a game break.
Gus, thanks. We check in on the Pac-12 at Husky Stadium. Colorado, number 15, Washington, both coming off heartbreaking losses last week. Steven Montez, 37-yard strike to Daniel Arias. Buffaloes lead early, 7-0 first quarter. We'll take you to this game as soon as things wrap up in East Lansing. Gus, Joel, back to you.
So your Buffaloes leading.
They needed to come out with a little bit different urgency than they did a week ago against USC on the road. Back-to-back road games for the Buffs. I will tell you this, Steven Montez played uncharacteristically poor for the Buffs last week against USC. That's going to be a tough one for them to win up in Seattle, but you never know.
First down and 10 for Lewerke and the Spartans at their own 25. Here's Lewerke, delivers, and incomplete. Looking for Hayward.
Well, and the guy in there pressuring again is our hardest working player, sponsored by Duluth Trading Company. Tough, ingenious workwear designed and tested by tradesmen. You talk about a tradesman, I'll bring you Chase Winovich. He is a pass rushing tradesman. 4 tackles, 3 QB hits, half tackle for loss, but it's all the pressures that he's been having. Lewerke has had no time, and he's had to throw the ball several times away because of number 15.
Lewerke 5 of 21, 66 yards. Michigan State getting away from the run right now. Here's Lewerke, looks backside, incomplete again. Stewart, the intended receiver.
Oh, and he was open, and he knows it. Stewart knows it. Lewerke, he got back late. Watch as Stewart is going to win on the outside. Great move outside. That's 3 times now he's given David Long that outside move, coming back for the slant, and Lewerke knows that he wants it back. All he's got to do is set his feet, get his eyes to the throw a little bit quicker, and he can deliver an accurate ball. He might still be running. I mean, Stewart ran a great route.
Third down and 10 of the 25. Michigan State 0 for 9 on third down conversions. Lewerke looking, and another incomplete pass. Cam Chambers, the intended receiver. Nobody open, Joel.
Nobody open. There is a reason that for 2 straight years, Don Brown's defense has led the country in pass defense. They are blankets on the outside, and they're on pace to do it for a 3rd straight year. This guy's one of, if not the best defensive coordinator in all of college football, and he's got a defense right now that is playing at an extremely high level.
Tyler Hunt punting for the 10th time from his own 11. And Donovan Peoples-Jones lets it take a bounce and goes down at the 16-yard line, a 59-yard punt. Tomorrow, it's a great slate of NFL action highlighted by Cam Newton and the Panthers taking on Carson Wentz and the Eagles. Or former Michigan State star Kirk Cousins and the Vikings battle the Jets. It's all on Fox and the Fox Sports app. Check local listings for the game in your area.
I can't wait to watch Drew Brees go against that defense with the Baltimore Ravens. That'll be a good one. And a big congratulations, by the way. I was very briefly for 3 weeks with the Saints when Drew Brees first signed with them. Got to know him. What a worker. Congratulations, Drew Brees, on being the NFL's all-time leading passer. Couldn't happen to a better guy.
First down and 10 of the 16 for Shea Patterson and the Michigan offense. Up by 7. Patterson pulls it out, drops it down, incomplete.
Yep, better he dropped it. That would have gone for a loss.
Nick Eubanks, the tight end, the intended receiver.
And Andrew Dowell with great coverage, number 5. There for the Spartans. It was all over him, closing fast. I wondered if Michigan was going to get back to this play action pass, get their tight ends involved early in this game. Jim Harbaugh had his tight ends involved in the game plan on the outside, and some of those little bootleg concepts, they've gone away from that. It's been primarily just straightforward run plays and then trying to allow Peoples-Jones and Nico Collins to make a play on the outside.
2nd and 10 at the 16. Patterson. Now he'll dance. Looking. Throws. Oh, caught! What a catch by Zach Gentry!
Well, I don't know. I think Gentry was out of bounds, came back inbounds, as then, but he wouldn't have been the first to touch it. He did have no hat. The officials got no hat, which means Gentry was out of bounds at some point. So now they're going to talk about whether he was, one, forced out, and secondly, whether he was the first to touch the ball.
There's no foul for illegal touching. The ball was tipped. First down, Michigan.
So Gentry definitely was out of bounds. The hat comes off, but remember, that was intended for Nico Collins, and then when it was batted up into the air, or excuse me, Donovan Peoples-Jones, thrown a little bit behind him. I mean, so fortunate that that wasn't picked off by Joe Bocci Jr., and then Gentry, right place, right time, and he's right there to go ahead and make the catch. That left foot was establishing him back in the field of play before he touched that ball, so that's why it's a legal catch.
A 16-yard gain, first down at the 32. Second time Michigan has benefited from that kind of tipped ball and reception is Higdon. Stopped by Bocci.
Gentry has been a huge weapon for them. He's 6'8", 262 pounds. Last year, he won the most improved offensive player at their Team Awards banquet. He was a 3-year starter at the quarterback position in high school, understands the game very well. It helps him tremendously at that tight end position.
He's on the Mackey Award watch list. 2nd and 5 at the 37. Higdon, following his blocks, picks up a first down and more. Secures the football as he gets inside Michigan State territory for a gain of 14 yards.
Well, we're just talking about Gentry. Watch this. He's going to mash down that left side of the defensive line. That's Willikis, who's caused him so many problems, and that's what opens up the pulling tight end, 84, Sean McCune. And McCune gets another block, and Higdon's able to wiggle through and gain some more positive yards.
How about Higdon? 20 carries, 96 yards rushing, closing in on his 6th consecutive 100-yard game.
And getting better and better and better, it seems, as the game goes along, exactly as he did a week ago.
End of the third quarter. Coming up, the 4th 7-point ball game in one of the greatest rivalries in college football. Michigan State. Start of the fourth quarter in East Lansing, 14-7, Michigan leading Michigan State. 1st and 10 of the 49 for Patterson and the Wolverines. Bell in motion. Higdon closing in on 100 yards. Not much there as Panashuk comes up with the tackle. And the thing about these Spartans under Coach D'Antonio, they may not have the 5-star recruits, but they got guys with 5-star hearts.
Yeah, and that's the way that they've built this program. They've got guys that have walked on like Kenny Willikis. They've got guys like Joe Bocci that are great leaders, Butkus Award candidates, but that's how they build this program, with these guys with an enormous chip on their shoulder, and this is when they hope it pays dividends.
2nd and 10 at the 49. It has in the past. Patterson delivers down the field. And incomplete. Donovan Peoples-Jones gave up on his route. That ball thrown long. Shakur Brown defensively.
An interesting set of downs here because Michigan has to be on schedule to stay on the field. They are just not good in this scenario. The pass rush has gotten to them, namely Kenny Willekes. They have not gotten much separation on the edge in these 3rd and long situations. This certainly plays into Michigan State's hands and how they want to play defense.
Perry and Peoples-Jones line up on the far side of the field. Perry has found soft spots in that Michigan State defense. 3rd and 10 at the 49. They throw it far side. Collins. And Collins short of the first down.
Ooh, you know, with the way that defense is playing, he might have created a short enough 4th down opportunity where Jim Harbaugh will think about going for it, and he will. Here come the big fellas. The 2 tight ends. You're bringing McCune on the field, Eubanks on the field. The tight end, fullback Ben Mason, and the Wolverines will go for it on 4th.
4th down and 2. Ben Mason, the power back in the backfield. Patterson keeps it, picks up the 1st down, hits the sideline, covers himself up, and is down to the Michigan State 30. An 11-yard gain. Shakur Brown with the tackle.
What a great read from Patterson. Watch as his eyes are going to go all over the defensive end. Bang, Willekes is down low, and now Patterson's going to find himself all the way on the edge with a great read, exactly like last week against Wisconsin. When they needed a big play, it was Patterson's legs that delivered. That's the 7th time that Patterson has converted a 3rd down with his feet this season.
Partner, that was actually a 4th down. 1st and 10 at the 30. And the handoff, Higdon. Higdon still moving, power running. Karan Higdon.
I always just think everything's 3rd down in my mind. In those critical downs. You're absolutely right. What a huge play on 4th down. And then Higdon gets himself loose in the middle there. A great play by Patterson.
Higdon, 22 carries, 105 yards.
Man, workhorse, isn't he?
Yes, he is.
Rhythm, too. Once they've gotten him in rhythm, he's gotten better and better.
6 straight 100-yard games. 2nd and 1 at the 21. Higdon again. And a 1st down. Willekes with the tackle. And there is a flag on the play.
More flags. Michigan just cannot control themselves right now. Both teams have been chippy. These flags, I've always felt like, only hurt the team that's leading. When you're in the lead, that's the time to keep your mouth shut.
Control your emotions.
Absolutely.
Awfully hard, though, partner. Michigan State going on.
Yeah, no doubt.
And after what happened at the end of last season, Michigan State people feeling that when Jim Harbaugh mentioned off-the-field issues, it was a cheap shot.
Yeah, well, Jacob Panasiuk just cheap-shotted Cesar Ruiz. Panasiuk was pushing him, bending him backwards over the back of his leg over the pile after the whistle. And then some pushing and shoving ensued.
After the play, there's unsportsmanlike conduct penalties on both teams. On the offense, number 50. On the defense, those fouls offset. They are the first of the game for each player.
I want you to watch number 96 for Michigan State. Okay, here he is. He's pushing 51. Watch this. He clearly over, and now he's just bending him back, bending him back, bending him back. And now 50, Owenu comes on. He's like, hey, get off of my guy. He shoves him back. Runyon even throws him down. So Jacob Panasiuk got away with a little bit of a cheap play. And Jim Harbaugh urging his team, think, be smart. We've got the lead. We're driving in the 4th quarter.
1st down and 10 at the Michigan State 18-yard line for the Wolverines. Karan Higdon, over 100 yards rushing today. Higdon, no, it's Patterson on the fake. Patterson down inside. inside the 10-yard line. An 11-yard gain. He pulled it out at the last moment.
His ball handling has been tremendous. Watch this fake. Great look right here. He's looking right at Kenny Willekes, and he looks down the line of scrimmage as if, oh, yeah, I'm giving it down there. And then, boom, he's out to the left and uses some of that speed to, again, move the chains with his feet. That is the difference in Michigan of 2018 versus 2017.
Last week, Harbaugh said that Patterson did a great job with his fakes, ball handling, and his running. This time, it's Higdon. How about Jim Harbaugh? He's been criticized. He's been praised. He's been paid well. Some have felt that he's been overpaid. But he is 11 minutes away from maybe sticking a stake in the ground and making these Michigan fans true believers. They'll have next week off. Penn State comes into town the following week. Rutgers, Indiana, and then the big one.
It's been a while since Michigan fans had this amount of belief in the potential of their team. But they've got to convert here.
2nd and goal at the 5. McHugh, the motion man. They hand it off. Mason, touchdown, Wolverines. Ben Mason. And Michigan with a chance to take a 21-7 lead.
What a drive.
Injured player, offense.
We've got this mash down, and then this tackle's going to get up. Bushel Beatty, bang, he's going to get the linebacker. And now it's hats on hats, and Mason finds the seam, leaps over a little bit, and finds himself in the end zone. What a great drive for Michigan right there. A huge drive with the way that defense is playing. And looks like that's big 76. Juwan Bushel Beatty, their right tackle, 6'6", 318 pounds, the senior from New Jersey. He has played so well and is playing his best football. The coaching staff raving about what he's been doing. The offensive line coach knew this season, by the way. Ed Warner came from Minnesota a year ago, is formerly a guy that has been a coordinator at Ohio State, been a lot of different places. And he is praising Juwan Bushel Beatty. There's 76. I told you about that great block he had at the linebacker position, and then watches everyone's diving in, and he gets that left leg hit, and it kind of buckles under him as he is engaged with Andrew Dowell, the linebacker, number 5.
Bushel Beatty from Paramus, New Jersey. A lot of great football players from that Paramus, New Jersey area.
And you think about how important this guy is to the run game. Gus, that drive ended with 6 straight runs, starting with that 4th down conversion by Patterson and finishing with that man, Ben Mason, in the end zone for the Wolverines.
So Bushel Beatty walks off the field on his own. Quinn Nordine comes in to attempt the extra point. 10:21 to play in the 4th quarter, an eternity remaining for Michigan State. And the kick is good. 13-play drive covering 84 yards. Wolverines eat up 6 minutes and 41 seconds. Ben Mason pays it off with the touchdown run. 21-7. Wolverines on top of the Spartans. Shane Patterson has been great with his legs today.
And clutch. Hasn't just been big plays, but huge conversions. The 4th down on the last series, moved the chains inside the 10 before Ben Mason was able to hit pay dirt.
Jake Moody will kick it away. Connor Hayward back deep. And this one kicked out of bounds. No, out of the end zone for a touchback. Coming up, Spartans with the football right after this. Weather has really simplified this game.
I mean, yes, no doubt. I mean, this has been now just a game about trying to make plays, make conversions. And hey, by the way, welcome home, man. I know this is a big day for you, and I'm happy to be alongside for it. Hometown, calling Michigan State, Michigan. This is very cool to be with you up here, bud.
I appreciate it. As soon as this game is over, Joel, you don't know what I'm going to say, but I'm going to get a couple of Conies and a Fago to wash it down. First and 10 at the 25. And Lewerke rolling out of the pocket. Lewerke slides and is at the 30-yard line. Let's check in with Jenny Taft.
Matt Allen still sidelined. He's dealing with a left ankle injury. Now, overheard telling his teammates he wanted to try to get out there, but he was wincing, limping at times, so they're being cautious with that left ankle. And we've talked about those injuries to the O-line, a big loss right now for this offense.
That battery is so crucial, in particular when you've got some elements, you've got some moisture on the ground. Now Blake Buter, who was originally a walk-on, has been moved into that center position. He's a redshirt freshman from right here in Michigan, has since earned a scholarship, playing very well.
Lewerke sprinting out of the pocket. Soward's the intended receiver. And Brian Lewerke has not had his best day.
No, he hasn't. And in his defense, 4 of the last 6 teams that Michigan has played have thrown the ball for 100 yards or less. Right now, he is 5 of 24 for 66 yards. And you can tell that even when he has open receivers, the defense is in his head. And that the accuracy is not anywhere close to what he normally has. And that last play was a great example of that.
Lewerke 5 for 24, 3rd and 7 to the 28. Lewerke steps up in the pocket, gets out of the pocket, throws. Complete. Al Stewart, the intended receiver. Remember, Felton Davis went out of this game with an Achilles injury. Their star receiver.
They just got nothing on the outside. I mean, the matchup was tough enough, even Felton Davis on the field. They were getting Darrell Stewart back. He's won a couple of times, but Lewerke has not been sharp, and they just don't have guys right now, Gus, that can create any separation whatsoever from these Michigan defensive backs. This is an impossible task for Michigan State right now.
Tyler Hunt punting for the 11th time. Peoples-Jones lets it take a bounce. And it will be down to the 25. 9:19 to go. Michigan with the lead.
That rain was going to be the great equalizer again in this game, but it has since stopped, and Michigan has resumed their dominance over Michigan State. Every time that, basically, for the entirety of this game that it hasn't been raining, Michigan has been borderline dominant. Then during the rain, all of a sudden Michigan State came roaring back, get a couple of turnovers, get a short field, get into the end zone. The crowd came alive, and then now all of a sudden it's kind of back to that base football. Let's line up and play. And I'll tell you this right now, this Michigan team is a really good football team. Tough to beat a team that can run it, has a quarterback that can run it, and plays this level of defense.
2nd down and 4 at the 31. Higdon again.
Because I think this is a massive, massive game, and win potentially 8.5 away from it for Jim Harbaugh in this program. It's not quite fully monkey off the back, but certainly this is a tipping point game. Remember, they've got a bye coming up. Then they get Penn State at home. Then they've got a couple of very winnable games, Rutgers and Indiana, before you know what. And then all eyes in the college football world will be on Columbus, Ohio, if Michigan can get there in the top 10 with only 1 loss.
3rd down and 1. Higdon looking for the 1st down, has it. Bocce with the tackle. Higdon has been stellar.
He has, and he's going to have to continue to be stellar during the course of the back end of this season. Bye next week is going to be huge before they welcome Penn State into the big house at Rutgers, Indiana, and then on FOX in Columbus.
Higdon 27 carries, 122 yards. Wolverines in no rush. Higdon. Let's go to Greg Wolf for a game break.
Gus, thanks. Coming up after Michigan State on Fox, we'll take you out to Husky Stadium. 8-play, 84-yard drive ends with Savon Ahmed getting to the edge, 7-yard touchdown. Buffalo's lead, though, 10-7, second quarter. Gus, Joel, back to you.
Folks, if you ever want to take a road trip, go to Husky Stadium.
Yeah.
One of the great scenes in all of college football.
All due respect to every other venue, and there are some great ones. I don't know if there is a prettier venue on the planet than Husky Stadium.
Second down and 9 at the 38. Wolverines stay on the ground with Higdon, trying to eat the clock with a 14-point lead.
On this program, not just Jim Harbaugh, but this program partner trying to snap that 17-game losing streak on the road versus ranked teams. They're 0-4 in that situation under Jim Harbaugh. Last time they won against a ranked team on the road, they were beaten Brady Quinn and the Notre Dame Fighting Irish back in 2006 in South Bend. So it's been a minute.
Faced with a 3rd down and 5 now at the 42. Higdon. And it'll be close to the first down.
He needed to get the 42 fully in order to move the chains, and it looks like he did it, and they'll give him the first down. Wow, what a performance from this kid. Karan Higdon, toughness, speed. Boy, that looked like he probably, the way that his body was coming up, came up short, but I don't know if there's going to be enough to overturn that in a review process, but my goodness.
Higdon voted the team's Offensive Player of the Year last season after rushing for 994 yards and 11 touchdowns. This time they give it to True Wilson. And you were talking about that last road win. Let's go back. Michigan's last win versus a ranked opponent on the road, 2006, against number 2 Notre Dame. Michigan jumps out to an early lead, scoring 34 points in the first half. Mario Manningham caught 3 touchdowns from Chad Henne, and Michigan won it 47-21. Brady Quinn, our Brady Quinn, our colleague here at Fox, was Notre Dame's quarterback. And for those young fans out there watching the game, Jim Harbaugh was a terrific quarterback at Michigan and in the NFL during his playing days. 2nd and 7 from the 50.
False start. Offense. Number 71. 5-yard penalty. 2nd down.
It's Andrew Stuber came in. He replaced Juwan Bushell-Beatty, number 76, the right tackle, who has since walked himself into the locker room. You know, everyone always talks about Jim Harbaugh as if he's not doing what he's supposed to do at Michigan. I'll just bring up, in the 7 seasons between Lloyd Carr and Jim Harbaugh, they were 46 and 42 as a program. You know who that was tied with over that same span?
Who's that?
Oregon State. I'd say they're in a better position now under Jim Harbaugh.
2nd down and 12. Higdon continuing to gain positive yards as Tyreek Thompson brings him down under 4 minutes to play.
Over those seasons, those 7 years, they were 24 and 32 in Big Ten play. They were not getting it done. I don't have to remind Michigan fans. Y'all were in the wilderness before this man came back to Ann Arbor. And now here you are, 6th in the country, beating Michigan State, a ranked team on the road handily right now with 3:30 left to play, 21-7. I'd say Michigan is in a really good spot under Jim Harbaugh.
3rd down and 6 at the 49. Higdon won't get it. Ponashuk with the tackle again, so the Wolverines most likely will send this one away.
And another penalty flag late.
Add to the play. Unsportsmanlike conduct. Offense. Number 22. 15-yard penalty. 4th down.
Call it on Higdon. I'm watching a replay. All he did was get up. Unless these guys are saying something, that's the only thing I can imagine, is that there's some verbal taunting or something, but this has been, and even Harbaugh is looking at him like, what did you do? I couldn't see it on video up here. He just got up off the ground and got a penalty, but Michigan fans, they are all too accustomed to phantom penalties, as we know, going back to the Northwestern game.
Wow, Will Hart punting it again from the 24-yard line. Sowers is the deep man for the Spartans. And this one out of bounds inside the 15. 2:38 to go. 21-7 Michigan. They're playing for this.
Let's take a look at the expectation-shattering drive of the game, sponsored by Buick, and it was the long touchdown in a tie ball game, 7-7. Patterson finding Donovan Peoples-Jones, steps out of the tackle of Kari Willis and goes the distance. Number 9 in the end zone for the Wolverines, and they have not looked back. Now up 21-7.
Rocky Lombardi comes in at quarterback for Michigan State. And Lombardi running it. And will get out of bounds after a 9-yard gain. And flag thrown, a late flag thrown.
Michael Dwumfor, number 50, was chasing after Lombardi, and a little nudge late out of bounds drew all the penalty flags.
After the play, personal foul, defense, number 50, 15-yard penalty, first down.
And Lombardi actually ran right into Brian Lewerke. Thought his day was done, and then his backup quarterback ran right into his chest.
Lombardi from Iowa, played in 2 games this season so far, but has not thrown a pass. Father Tony played football at Arizona State in the early 80s. No relations to the legendary coach Vince Lombardi. Here's his first pass of the season. And a flag. Stewart, the target.
Embry Thomas is the corner over on the far side. He's going to get called for probably a hold. Pass interference.
Pass interference. Defense, number 1. Ball be placed at the spot of the infraction. Automatic. First down.
There he is, all over Stewart as he's running down the field. And if you're just joining us, great wide receiver from Michigan State, Felton Davis, tore his Achilles tendon in this ball game. We wish him well, obviously, and a speedy recovery towards his future. But now it's going to be Darrell Stewart. He's going to be the go-to guy for this Michigan State offense on the outside.
Barty. Stewart again the target. David Long in coverage for Michigan. With 2:17 to play.
There's a flag on the far side of the field.
Legal substitution on the defense. The 12th player did not get off the field. 5-yard penalty. First down.
This can always happen when you start getting into that mold where you're trying to play extra guys, but they got to be a little bit careful here because it's still just a 2-possession game. I know it feels like more because of the way that the defense is played, but if Michigan State can all of a sudden get into the end zone quick, let's not put all the nails into the coffin just yet.
First down and 5 at the 43. Lombardi winds up again. And another flag. Wow.
Personal foul, roughing the passer, defense with a low hit, 15-yard penalty, automatic, first down.
Check out Winovich. Winovich 15. He's going to come in and he goes low to the quarterback. Lombardi wants the flag and he gets it.
So Lombardi coming in, driving the Spartans right down the field. 3 personal foul penalties on this series against Michigan.
And again, keep taking shots. Might as well get yourself potentially into the end zone, get yourself into an onside kick position. Still life for the Spartans now in a 2-possession game with 2:13 left.
Play fake. Lombardi rolls out of the pocket. And that ball is caught by Darryl Stewart. Short of the first down, but it's about a 9-yard pickup.
And that'll stop the clock. Michigan State still has all of their timeouts left. What a catch. Look at that left knee coming down just in bounds. What a catch on the sideline. They're going to take a look. That sure looked like a catch to me, Gus.
Previous play of reception is under further review.
Remember, just needs a body part, and it might not have been the toe dragging, but I thought his left knee surely hit the field of play after he had controlled that ball, and then going to the ground. All he needed to do was maintain possession and control of that ball as he hit and contacted the ground. Watch his left knee. See that left knee? That's the first thing to hit. It's in bounds, and that ball is secure in that right hand. Nothing there would tell me that that's an incompletion. This will be a great look. Control, left knee. Now, does he control it through the process of hitting the ground? Absolutely. That ball does not move in that right hand. What a catch from Darryl Stewart. Certainly think this will be upheld.
Darryl Stewart on the day, 2 catches for 16 yards.
I tell you what, that is a great live call by the official right there, the line judge, Dan Gallagher.
After further review, the ruling on the field is confirmed. It's a reception, second down.
So Michigan State fighting until the very end. 2 minutes to play, down 21-7.
Here come the elements again. Little wind picking up, the rain picking up.
It's cold out there. Hey, Nick Saban, come on, bring your Alabama boys up to East Lansing. You coached here, you know what it's about.
Come on, man, they haven't played a true road game in the playoff era, in the non-conference.
Play in the elements, 2nd and 1 at the 24. Hale coming down now. And Lombardi is roughed up and slammed. The pile drive by Devin Bush.
Well, they brought the house there. Lombardi didn't recognize it, didn't get the ball out of his hand quickly, and now the clock continues to run. Bush was unblocked all the way into Lombardi's face.
3rd down and 13. Lombardi steps up, sacked again. This time it's Michael Dwumfor. And that brings up 4th down and 13.
Just beat him on the outside. Dwumfor at the defensive tackle position. Just a little outside move. Gets back to the quarterback and in Lombardi's lap. And in 2 snaps of the football, this Michigan defense flexing some muscle with a couple of sacks.
Michigan State calls a timeout.
There have been no sustained drive. In fact, when you talk about sustained drive, this has been the longest drive Michigan State has had. Had 14 drives coming into this one. Only one of them went for more than 20 yards. None of them for over 50. So this is the best drive the Spartans have had. Just to show you the dominance of that Michigan defense. Remember, the touchdown Michigan State scored was after a turnover gave their offense the ball right at the 7-yard line going in. Couple of plays, one of them a reverse pass back to the quarterback, able to get that ball into the end zone. Other than that, this Michigan defense has given up nothing. 1.9 yards per play in the game. 93 total yards from Michigan State offensively in today's ball game.
4th down and 17 for the Spartans. Lombardi under pressure and incomplete. Michigan State will turn it over on downs with 1 minute and 12 remaining. And now the Wolverines can start their celebration. 7 straight wins. And let's quickly check in with Greg Wolf for a game break.
Gus, thanks. Players continuing to make their way to Millard Park with a trip to the World Series on the line. Can Manny Machado and the Dodger offense break through against that Brewers bullpen. LA putting a lot on this young rookie's plate. 24-year-old Walker Buehler gets the ball in the biggest moment of his young career. Coverage of Game 7 of the NLCS begins at 7 Eastern on FS1.
So the revenge tour for Michigan continues. First Wisconsin, now Michigan State. They'll have a bye and take on Penn State the following week. They hand it off to Mason.
Gus, this one makes it real. Now they're in the chase. This team is one of the few teams in America that controls their own destiny, not just in the Big Ten East, but for a college football playoff berth.
Who are the other teams, would you say?
That control their own destiny?
Yes.
Obviously the undefeateds that you would have, Ohio State being one of those.
Notre Dame.
I believe Notre Dame is in that group. Clemson's obviously in that group. I think you would look at a team like LSU that would control their own destiny. Texas might be on the outside looking in because of the Maryland loss in week 1. I think there's only 6 or 7 teams. You might put Oklahoma in that group. I think Georgia most likely is in that group, even with the loss to LSU, because of what they would potentially have on their schedule. But certainly one of the teams, even with the loss that they suffered week 1 to Notre Dame, is these Michigan Wolverines. Michigan fans, it's real.
Mason again, and a first down. And I would agree with you, partner. It is real for Michigan because of this man, Jim Harbaugh, 4th year. He's quirky, but effective. The Michigan Wolverines will improve to 7-1 under Coach Harbaugh, leading his alma mater. With the bye week coming, Gary can get healthy from that shoulder injury, and the following week they'll get ready for Penn State.
Think about the statement of toughness that man showed, Karan Higdon, in the run game. They came in today facing the #1 rush defense in the entire country. 51 rushes as a team. 51. They ran the ball for 189 yards. Higdon, 32 for 139 himself. Michigan now 400 yards of total offense to Michigan State's 93. I'd say this is a statement win for the Wolverines.
Wolverines in the victory formation as Patterson will snap it and take a knee. The experiment continues to work for Jim Harbaugh and the Michigan Wolverines. Shea Patterson turning out to be a terrific leader for this university. Final play of the game, and it's over. 21-7, Michigan comes to East Lansing and defeats the Spartans. The Paul Bunyan Trophy will head to Ann Arbor. Final score, 21-7. Michigan defeats Michigan State. Join us after the break for Colorado and Washington.